اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك وأتوجه إليك بنبيك نبي الرحمة محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. يا أبا القاسم يا رسول الله، يا إمام الرحمة، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا أمير المؤمنين، يا علي بن أبي طالب، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا فاطمة الزهراء يا بنت محمد، يا قرة عين الرسول، يا سيدتنا ومولاتنا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيهة عند الله، اشفعي لنا عند الله. يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي أيها الشهيد يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن الحسين، يا زين العابدين يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها الباكر يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا عبد الله يا جعفر بن محمد أيها الصادق يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا موسى بن جعفر أيها القادم يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى أيها الرضا يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن محمد أيها الهادي النكي يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وسي الحسن والخلف الحجة أيها القائم المنتظر المهدي يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. Ask for your hajat. يا سادتي وموالي إني توجهت بكم أئمتي وأدتي ليوم فقري وحاجتي إلى الله وتوسلت بكم إلى الله واستشفعت بكم إلى الله فاشفعوا لي عند الله واستنقذوني من ذنوبي عند الله فإنكم وسيلتي إلى الله وبحبكم وبقربكم أرجو نجاة من الله فكونوا عند الله رجائي يا سادتي يا أولياء الله صلى الله عليهم أجمعين ولعن الله أعداء الله ظالميهم من الأولين والآخرين آمين رب العالمين.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد فلا يعلم إذا بؤثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Tuesday night program, Dua Tawassul, followed by Tafsir of Quran. We've been doing the Tafsir from the 30th juz, these short surahs. We've reached surah number 100, also known as Surah al-Adiyat. As you know, these tafsir have been very concise and short and abridged, brief, for a purpose that, of course, we cannot get into ayat by ayat tafsir of Quran in the short time that we have on Tuesday nights. This surah that I shared on the screen, it's one of the important surahs that there's a debate whether it was revealed in Mecca or Medina. So usually you have very certain about the place of revelation for every surah. But for this, there's a debate whether it was revealed in Mecca or it was revealed in Madinatul Munawwara. Translation is very, difficult to understand in a sense. The words that are used once in Quran only, and they have not been repeated, some of these words. For example, it begins by saying, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا, by the racers, panting, the sound that the horses make when they're really running fast, they're moving fast, that sound is called dabh. Adiyat refers to the horses that are running, because the word adiya comes from ta'addi or adv, which means to trespass. And when you're running, you're trespassing the normalcy, which is to walk. And from that end, you realize that, of course, the root word, of course, is adv, which literally means to trespass. And because running is exceeding the limit of normal movement, it's referred to as adiyat dabha. So we'll look at the surah. Some of the names that are mentioned for the surah, overview of it, objectives, contents, atmosphere, virtues, and inshallah observation. Just a couple of more words that I wanted to explain initially. That the word dab is the sound that the horses make when breathing. So when a person breathes heavily, there's a sound that comes. You're breathing heavily, you've just sprinted 100 meters, now you're breathing heavily. Similar is for the animals, and especially for the horses, they would make this noise, which then Arabs placed a name for it, and that's what it's called. The word qadh is the spark when two firestones strike. So if you've ever struck two firestones together, or any type of stone that can bring about a spark, that's what the word qadh means. So when they would be striking the ground, it would also make the sparking, or it will make the spark come out of it. Mughirat, in the third ayat, فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ subha, comes from ighara, which means to charge down quickly, fast galloping. And the word subh, of course, refers to morning time, is the allusion to surprise the enemy and hide the time of attack. So when you surprise someone, you sit in this ambush where they can't see you until, of course, it's morning, and then you ambush them. The word atharna comes from ithara, which means to spread out. Well, these are just a few words that are mentioned. As I went over these words, subh, qad, mughirat, and dabh, and atharna. Next, we look at an overview of this surah. As far as the overview and the objective, this is where reality of the surah is basically. So that's a reminder about the day of judgment and unveiling of the secrets on that day. So of course, what is day of judgment for? Day of judgment is for accountability. It's for passing over mizan or the sirat, and then being gathered at mizan, where the scale of balance of the amal would be. And so that day, the secrets will be revealed. Secrets that I'm hiding right now, they will be revealed. That are in my chest, will be made known. And so that's what the purpose and the reminder about the day of judgment is. You look at this concept and you put in perspective that whether Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reveal it for others, or whether it will just be revealed for you. Imagine if it's revealed for others, how it would bring about shame onto us if others found out about our hidden secrets. You relate that to the fact that today, if someone found out about some of the hidden secrets that every individual has, how devastating it would be. Similarly, countries, armies, they have their hidden secrets, hidden agendas. They don't want that to be revealed to others. Why? If someone gains access to that, then it means what? It means that people will be able to easily undermine and attack them, or to be able to access things of their secrecy. It will reveal many of their secrets. So you don't want those things to be revealed to others. It will bring, and then come back to on a personal level, that if my hidden secrets, and if they happen to be dirty secrets, if they're out in the public, as today in the world that we live in, Facebook and Twitter and all these other social medias where things go viral, just imagine how it would bring about a shame. So Day of Judgment is a reminder about the unveiling of the secrets on that day, the high rank of the Muslim warriors. That is another overview of this surah, and the objective behind revealing is to highlight the importance of those who take part in these battles, those who stood by Rasulullah, those who remained steadfast, and those who didn't run away. They are just as worse as those who, bad as those who never came to join Rasulullah. So there's a group of people that never joined Rasulullah, made many excuses. Oh Rasulullah, we have our farms are getting ready to be harvested. We don't want to go right now. It's hot, for example. It's Arabia. You got 110 degrees temperature in the desert, and now they have to march on foot. It's not like today's army sending a battalion to another country, in planes that they can comfortably go in, and then, places they can comfortably stay in. But that was the time when it was difficult to travel. So many people would make excuses. They were condemned in Quran, and similarly, those who attended the battles and then ran away, they were also considered to be amongst those who were unbelievers. So therefore, high rank of Muslim warriors is also mentioned in it. Love for riches. Towards the middle part of the surah, you find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ, the word refers to حُبِّ الْخَيْرِ, that they have, what is khair? That is defined, and their love for this khair. And then lastly, the ingratitude that insan shows, especially those who are lacking tarbiyat, proper nurturing and upbringing, they are ungrateful and they show ingratitude. Surah has 11 verses, 40 words, and 163 letters. This surah is placed at number 100 in the current order of the chapters of Quran, but it was 14th in the chronological order of the revelation after Surah al-Asr. As I mentioned, the overview, similarly the objectives, the focus is to, three things basically. Number one, reminding the weakness of the people who are lacking tarbiyat. Number two, explain the high and exalted status of those who took part in the battles and walked along Rasulullah. And number three, reminder of the resurrection. Then you have the contents and the topics that are mentioned in the surah. So after the overview and the objectives, you can sort of understand what will be the topics, what will be the contents of this surah. The content of the surah, Surah al-Adiyat, is such that it mentions, begins by these oaths, qasam, that people haven't heard before. Wal-'adiyat dabha. By the, breathing noise that is made by these chargers, these horses, by that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by what? Swearing by the noise that is made by these horses when they're running. So is it even worth mentioning and taking an oath by? So this was something to captivate the attention. And after that, it talks about some of the weaknesses of human nature, such as disbelief, miserliness, and of course, attachment to the world. And finally, with a brief reference to the issue of resurrection and God's scientific encirclement of His servants, brings an end to this chapter. Time and revelation, as I mentioned earlier, there's a debate amongst the scholars whether the surah was revealed in Mecca or whether it was revealed in Medina. Some believe that it was revealed in Mecca, some believe that it was revealed in Medina. The debate and the reason is because of the content. So this is where the discussion should be. That content of the surah leads you to believe that the oaths of the surah are very relevant to the issues of jihad, as well as the tradition that says that all the surahs that was revealed, majority of these surahs that you find in the 30th juz, because they begin with this sort of qasam, they were revealed in Makkah because of the connotation that it has. But with the exception that this surah, it is talking about a battle. Now, there was no battle when it comes to Makkatul Mukarramah. When it comes to Makki life of Rasulullah, you don't find any battles over there per se. Muslimin are still struggling at that time. So here we look at that this could be the reason that the surah was revealed in Medina, Why? There was a battle called Dhatul Salasil, probably in the 7th or 8th year after Hijrah. This battle takes place. There's a riwayat, lengthy riwayat in one of the Amalis by our 6th Imam, Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. Someone asked Imam alayhi salatu wasalam regarding the Surah al-Adiyat. Imam, this lengthy hadith, he said Rasulullah had sent some people. He himself did not attend, so this was not a ghazwara, there was a sariya, and he has sent someone to go ahead and to some battlefield, and they came back unsuccessful. They were not able to secure what Rasulullah has sent them to do. And when they came back unsuccessful, at this point Rasulullah sent Amirul Mu'mineen. O Ali, you are now in charge. And this was a common occurrence. Rasulullah did this in Khaybar as well. So he did that in Battle of Ahzab as well. And he does the same thing in Battle of Zatul Salasil. So he now sends Amirul Mu'mineen. Imam goes. Now Rasulullah gave him specific instructions. This riwayat is a lengthy, so I'm not going into the contents of the riwayat. Rasulullah gave him specific instructions to do what, at what time he should attack, and what should he what should he be careful about, and all that stuff. And then while they were still there, one morning Rasulullah, in the morning prayers, when he led the prayer, he recited the surah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. After Surah Fatiha, Rasulullah said, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا. And people, leading the prayer. Rasulullah was leading the prayer, and people who were standing behind, they had never heard this surah before. And so they realized that this is a new revelation. After the namaz was over, they asked Rasulullah, we've never heard this surah before. Rasulullah said, yes, it was revealed last night. Jibreel came to me, and he revealed this surah. This is an indication that Ali had just attained victory at Dhatul Salasil. He is still over there. He still hasn't come back yet. He's on his way with the spoils of war and many captives. And Jibreel Amin has given me the news of the victory attained by Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma salli. So this is a proof that it was revealed in Medina. Even if you consider the oaths at the beginning of the surah to refer to the movement of, for example, the pilgrims towards Mina and Mashair, it also corresponds to Medina. As I mentioned, the atmosphere is the atmosphere of the battle. As Majmul Bayan narrates this hadith which I mentioned, and Amali Tusi also mentions this hadith which I just mentioned to you. So when the surah was revealed, Rasulullah recited the surah at night and in the morning, and he explained the reason behind it. Some of the features and the virtues, reward of reciting the surah, Ubay ibn Ka'ab narrates from the Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who said that whoever recites Surah al-Adiyat, it's not a long surah, memorize it. Whoever recites Surah al-Adiyat will be rewarded 10 times the number of Hujjaj present in Muzdalifah on the night of Eid and Arafat. So, you got 2 million, 3 million Hujjaj that are present in the night of Eid, or you got more present, later on. You're getting the reward from them. Sulaiman ibn Khalid narrates from 6th Imam, Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, who said, whoever recites this surah continuously, meaning regularly, will be raised with Amirul Mu'mineen on the Day of Judgment and will be given a place in Imam's company. Why? Because it was revealed after the victory attained by Amirul Mu'mineen. Now, as far as and last part, the observation, many verses in Quran are condemning insan, speaking to him in a very negative tone. So, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the bad traits by calling them zaluman jahula, unjust and ignorant, halu'a, anxious, ya'usa, despairing, kafura, ungrateful, jazu'a, impatient, manu'a, stingy. But on the other hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has praised insan on certain occasions. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا, we have honored mankind. وَفَضَّلْنَا, we have preferred him over others. Ahsanu taqweem, we have created him in the best of the forms. The best of the creation is, insan. وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. Allah did not blow His soul into anyone else except Adam and the children of Adam. So we are the carrier of the soul of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example. So you look at the first set of traits that are condemning insan, and then the last set of traits which are praising insan. This duality is due to the fact that there are two types of movement factors in humans. The surah also began with the movement, right? The al-Adiyat dabha, these animals were moving at a rapid speed, which was producing this sound for which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing. So the two moving factors that exist in human, one is the intellect and the other is the instinct. Aql and your desires. These are the two factors. If insan treads on the path of serving God and he includes the tarbiyat of awliya, he is, of course, the last ladder where Allah is praising him. Ahsana taqweem, nafakhtu fihi min ruhi, and walaqad karramna wa faddalna. But of course, he treads on the path of lusts and tyrants and temptation, then of course he is considered zaluman, jahula, jazu'a, manu'a, halu'a, and all of those, ya'usa, all of those traits that are mentioned. So in the Quran, intense and greedy interest in worldly possession, which causes forgetting the hereafter, has been criticized. The Quran interprets the wealth of this world as goods, لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ. So don't condemn the goods that exist in this world. They're all khair. But utilizing them properly is also the duty of insan. Falling in love with it and misusing it is when it becomes problematic. To understand that wealth should be obtained through good means, used in good ways, and with good intentions. This is the gist of Surah al-Adiyat. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and ability to be able to understand the words of Quran and make Quran to be part of our daily lives. Wa akhir da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Allahumma salli. متوجه زيارة. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا خيرة الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك وعلى جدك وأبيك وعلى أمك وأخيك ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء، السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس وأنيس النفوس أيها المدفون بأرض طوس، علي ابن موسى رضا ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أعوانك